this treacherous disease. It's a crisis in the country, really. And we would be remiss if we talk anything Sierra Leonean and fail to acknowledge those who have departed us due to this evil virus. So, a few seconds. May the souls of those departed rest in peace. So where's Steve? Oh, he's back there. In Sierra Leone, when we say we're going to a jam session, we expect booze, food, and a dance floor. And so far, so bad. But we're here to jam regardless, yes? The concept of open government itself is a novel phenomenon, and it's jamming. And it's here to stay. So we should be cognizant of that. This is not just a fad that will die out in the next few weeks or months or years. This thing is here to stay because citizens demand it from their governments. Yes? Similarly, the supply of data, as Anders from Open Knowledge will tell you, has recently increased. More authorities, whether it's at the national level, the local level, the regional level, are making commitments to publish data they collect in an effort to increase transparency and accountability and have public participation more in governance and government affairs. And all of these would empower citizens to engage with government, to improve services, and to advocate for change, most importantly. I want to take a quick moment to recognize the team from Sierra Leone, because I'm sitting up here now, and it's not just about me. Behind me, there's a force of people. Some of them are here this morning. I just wanted to acknowledge them very quickly. Some of them are missing in the room, so they missed out on the introductions. But I wanted to start with Canon Ajayi Nikul. He's a retired pastor, and he brings peace among the chaos with open data that we find in the country. He's a member of this National Steering Committee. And Ms. Massalla Samba Sise, she is a program director for Campaign for Good Governance, a civil society organization. Behind her is Mr. Abdul Samad Kamara, who works for the Open Government Initiative. Next to him is Ardan Rada, SLBC television media guy, Mr. Dan Mosiri. And Abubakar Kamara, he's with the Budget Advocacy Network. We're missing some people there. That's Mr. Mohamed Masako, he's the president of the Reporters Union. So we came with a bunch of civil society guys and some government people. And there's Ms. Hannah Garrick coming through the door now. She's with the Women's Forum. Yes, and Ms. Director is coming. Director is my director. And there is the guy taking the film pictures. He's Prince Hussein Bull. He's with the Center for Accountability and Rule of Law in Sierra Leone. And last but not least is our director of Open Government Initiative, the force behind the machine that pushes Sierra Leone Open Government Partnership. Some others are missing, they've missed out. Oh, there's Mr. Kaloko back there. He's one of the implementing MDAs. He leads the Road Transport Maintenance Authority in our country. Yes. All right, thank you very much. So moving on, quite honestly, I have to struggle with what I was going to be talking about today, because I've been thinking about it, I've been asking questions. What am I going to talk about with regard to School of Open Data? And last night, just after 12 midnight, it dawned upon me what I need to talk about today. So I'll tell you quickly what I want to do here. I want to talk about why we're having this ideation jam in the first place. In other words, how did we get here? So allow me to talk a little bit about open government partnership and what Sierra Leone's role has been to date in this whole thing. And you can appreciate then the context in which citizens and civil society organizations and journalists and even government guys like me would be requiring of our government in terms of data and why. So that is my role here today. You see, the feedback between government and citizens is suspect. It's shaky, it's not strong. We need to improve upon that. And it can only be catalyzed by empowering the media, civil society, and individual change makers who advocate for change. Many African countries, as some of you would know, have terrific talent and great ambition, but we are lacking in the specific IT skills that we need to survive in an environment that open data informs or suggests. Now, it seems to me the school of data being proposed or propagated by open knowledge is the way to go. However, for Sierra Leone, we need more than just 2 fellows a year, Mr. Peterson. I mean, we're looking for something a lot bigger when it comes to training journalists and civil society activists and even government employees with regard to what are we going to be doing with all this data that all of a sudden is falling on our laps. See, people need skills to find, clean, and analyze data in order to find evidence, to create visualizations and stories so that they can present their arguments with vigor or flair. Yeah? That's where we are. Now, how do we do all of this? How do we build an effective school of data for midterm skills, building, and at the same time, how do we acquire skills in the short term to accomplish OGP action plans, particularly the Sierra Leone one that has 11 bold commitments? And then how do we stimulate economic growth through open data? Can we do that? African countries particularly, because this jam is all about Africa. Can we do that in Africa? Let me quickly share our Sierra Leone experience with the Open Government Partnership, and I'll be telling it to you from the eyes of a national, well, at least I like to think like I'm an activist for national development, not necessarily from a techie point of view. And if I become boring, just let me know, I'll adjust. See, we qualified for the OGP, or participating in this OGP thing, when we met 4 requirements. The first one was that we showed that we had fiscal transparency, which means that we show our budgets openly, the citizens' budget in my country, and we also publish the Auditor General's reports. Sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's damning. Like the latest one, it was an adverse opinion that was posted on, that was signed by the Auditor General when he did the reviews of government's books. And if you're an accountant, like I used to be, an adverse opinion means that it's the worst kind of opinion you can pass on any report, adverse. However, our government did not shy away from publicizing it. We did it anyway, because we were actually open, even before open government came into our lives, open government partnership, that is. And if I can just quickly retract, in 2006, I believe, or 2008, sorry, we had an open government initiative in our country. Sometimes, some people in my country believe that President Barack Obama borrowed open government partnership from our open government initiative. They really believe that. And we talk about it sometimes. All right. Now, once we qualified, well, there were 3 other things I wanted to point out quickly. We have asset and income disclosure by public officials in our country. You can do it 2 ways. OGP measures it in 2 ways. Either private or public. For private, you score 4 points. I mean, for public 4 points, for private, you score 2 points. We do ours today privately. However, we're hoping that as we evolve in this open government partnership, there'll come a time when civil servants or public officials will willingly declare their assets openly. We don't know, but it's worth knocking on the door, right?